These legends got into a battle before the world. What happened? We got numerous ladies battling. It was only one individual slapping the taste out of the other one's mouth. There's a colloquialism: when Satan overlooks you, then you realize you're accomplishing something wrong. When Satan comes at you, perhaps this is on the grounds that you're attempting to accomplish something right. He has been the objective of jokes from humorists from one side of the planet to the other, yet presently, he's getting analysis from one of the top entertainers in the business. Since that infamous Oscar slap, Will Smith has gotten a ton of analysis and has gotten into contentions with various notable figures. Anyway, Smith is facing, in all honesty, the unbelievable Denzel Washington this time, yet why we have all the earmarks of being set for a showdown of the Hollywood Titans. Now that Denzel made the blunder of basically naming Will Satan. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Celeb Zone channel. Obviously, Denzel was fairly vocal about that infamous chuckle. He was available at a 89 authority culmination that was being held by the exceptional creator and Minister T.D. Jake essentially needed to request Denzel to question during their conversation from his expert life and his convictions what unfolded among Rock and Smith on that critical Oscars night. Denzel replied with a notable maxim. He said there's a platitude: when Satan overlooks you, then you realize you're accomplishing something wrong. Then again, when Satan comes at you, perhaps this is on the grounds that you're attempting to accomplish something right. Are you certain about that? Yes, he remembered Satan for this present circumstance. Denzel guaranteed that the whole Oscars contention looked like a play with fire. It is like Satan said, goodness, let him be my #1 entertainer. Is Will Smith? Yet then again, on the off chance that Satan chooses to show up, it can essentially suggest that something good is occurring. It seemed like Satan was wanting to get in on the merriments that night. Fascinating viewpoint on the occasion, and many individuals have connected with what eminent comic Dave Chappelle said, as Denzel would see it appeared to be like the fuss budget veneer could ultimately break so in the event that Satan constrained him to do it. Yet many individuals are keen on what Denzel did following the misfortune things, but very warmed behind the stage when Will Smith gave Chris Rock a decent smack for poking a fun at Jada Pinkett Smith. Tyler Perry and Smith's marketing specialist were undeniably seen having a serious, honest conversation with Denzel Washington. During those business breaks, they crouched together, maybe working about the aftermath out from that unbelievable slap that was perceptible all over the world. What anyway was expressed in confidential Washington guarantees that it was a second set apart. By petitions and backing, he didn't go into extraordinary profundity anyway. He said that Tyler Perry came right quickly thereabouts with me. You realize, who are we to ensure currently fans even shared a picture from when Denzel was conversing with Will. One individual composed this image. Is cold. It was taken following the slap. Chris Rock hanging tight for a conciliatory sentiment. Jada advising Will Smith to return and slap him again. Denzel Washington attempting to quiet the circumstance. One more added tune in assuming Denzel Washington and Samuel L. Jackson console Will Smith after that slap. It was justified. Denzel claims that they discussed vital subjects, yet he actually likes to stay quiet about all that. They frequently guarantee that what occurs in talk stays in conversation. Denzel did anyway underline that we had to all offer thanks and remember that any of us might wind up in a similar situation. It fills in as an advance notice not to make hurried decisions. One fan even commended Washington for doing what he did. They composed, well, the picture of Tyler Perry and Denzel Washington moving toward. Will Smith has remained to me after Will toss the hit. The damn world furnished themselves with pitchforks. Denzel and Tyler arm themselves with balance and empathy. Sympathy is seldom merited, yet frequently required. Yet not every person was satisfied. One individual composed its revolting the way in which Denzel and Tyler were encouraging the assailant rather than the went after individual. This one individual countered and said they are his old buddies. They would mind him. I expect something like that. One more added, bravo Denzel. And Tyler, you made the best choice when you stagger companions are there to help and lift you up. Botches are made in life in obscurity spots. Is where you develop. There was one Twitter client who simply disagreed that Denzel made the best decision. They said it resembles an alcoholic driver. Hit somebody and everybody is keeping an eye on the driver. Obviously, we don't know precisely exact thing, Denzel told Smith. At that exact second yet, Will Smith appeared to acknowledge it since during his triumph discourse. For Best Entertainer, Smith referenced Washington and uncovered a piece of their visit. Washington had given him some phenomenal guidance. He said, saying, Denzel told me a couple of moments back. He said, at your most elevated second, be cautious. That is the point at which Satan comes for you. We, as a whole, settle on one thing. When such comments are coming from Washington, we tune in as he talks. He has acquired information and skill through long stretches of being at the center of attention. Others were lenient toward Will, despite the fact that Satan chose to interfere with the party. As he expressed, the Oscars are a superb event for Hollywood's tip-top. It's intended to be an evening of style and marvelousness, to respect the best accomplishments in film. Consequently, it's an embarrassment that nobody might have anticipated that another tip-top part would contact one more visitor. They're gracious. Wow fella. It was a G.I. Jane joke. Going to everything began when Will Smith's better half, Jada Pinkett Smith, was the subject of a joke by entertainer and comic Chris Rock. In A Little to the Side, Stone made a reference to Pinkett Smith's alopecia-related sparseness and communicated his fervor for a Pinkett Smith drove G.I. James spin-off. Rock had no clue about that this joke would put the night on the map in Hollywood. Will Smith is a quiet, enchanting entertainer who is viewed as an expert of film. Subsequently, he thought about the joke literally. Startlingly, he fought back by slapping Rock on the cheek, making it the slap heard all over the planet. The crowd was stunned and in a condition of skepticism. After the event, a few VIPs, including Serena Williams, Nicole Kidman, and Lupita Nyong'o, were seen on video communicating. Total wonder, Jim Carrey, a comic and entertainer from Canada, will go first. He was open about how he had an outlook on it. Jim said, I was nauseated. I was nauseated by the wildly energetic applause. I felt like Hollywood is only cowardly en masse. And it truly felt like, gracious, this is a truly obvious sign that we're not the cool club any longer. You simply need the issue. I reported earlier today that I was suing Great for $200 million. Since that video will be there everlastingly, it will be omnipresent. It will be typical. Yet Wanda Sykes, the Beguiling Foundation grants, have had a few in number feelings too. Hello, Jim wasn't the one in particular who found it sickening. She recognized that she needed to address the whole matter in front of an audience, despite the fact that I'm anxious to hear what she would have said, assuming she had strolled back out onto that stage. I accept it sort of placed everybody in that condition of shock that makes individuals stop. You would feel that Will would be thankful for somebody supporting him after the entirety of this pandemonium. Yet apparently Smith isn't excessively enamored with Denzel. As a general rule, he pursued the choice to talk with him. Why? Obviously Will.